This is something you don't want to hear, but it's true. Unfortunately, more elderly people are experiencing homelessness, and that's why Haven for Hope created an entire program for that particular age group.
It's called the Young at Heart program. It launched this summer, and our Courtney Friedman got to meet one of its first clients who is already living independently in his own apartment.
With the push of a button,
a
short stroll down a hallway, and the turn of a key.
There we go.
Your very own space.
Jim Fouts is in his very own apartment, the first real home he's had in a long time.
Congrats on all of this.
He just moved in this month, so he's still working on furniture, but this is a big deal.
And you got to believe me that being on the street sucks, because I've been there.
When Jim got to Haven for Hope last year, it was good timing because the shelter was just creating its Young at Heart program, specifically for people ages 65 and up.
These are our parents, our grandparents. They're the caregiver generation, the baby boomers, and now unfortunately we're seeing they're the largest population that's growing and experiencing homelessness.
Haven's Senior Director of Case Management, Jesse Burden, says anyone in that age group who enters the shelter gets case managers that prioritize them, get documents and income lined up, and of course, housing.
You thought it was going to take longer.
Yeah.
And so then when they told you your apartment's ready, what went through your head?
I was just shocked.
What does it make you feel like to have your own apartment?
It feels good to have a place to say that's my address. It brings me a sense of accomplishment.
Jim now has a permanent housing caseworker.
He asks if I'm getting my medicine okay and if I've been to see the doctor, and he checks to make sure that if I need any help to get food and things like that.
Connecting to Center for Healthcare Services for that mental health support, connecting to primary care for the physical health.
Everything he truly needs to find independence and close the door on homelessness. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
And I'm certainly so happy for people like Jim that they have
Good
security
for him.
and just a roof over their heads.
Well, it's about to get cold. I mean, in theory, it's about to get cold here pretty soon.
Or even
So
when it's super hot.
Yeah, no
Just
kidding.
A good place to live.
All right, very good.
There's a lot going on in San Antonio and in the surrounding areas.
Correct. It is the final weekend of Worst Fest in New Braunfels. Adam Caskey did not take all of the beer and sausage, we believe. Friday Fest is taking place downtown. That's from noon to 6 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sunday, it's a free family-friendly festival celebrating Frida Kahlo's legacy. And it will be held at Maverick Plaza at La Vita.
And then don't forget about the San Antonio Zoo, because through the end of this month, military members, active duty and retired, can get into the zoo for free. All they got to do is bring in their military ID. You can find more information on the zoo's website.
All right, and it is game day for the Spurs. The Silver and Black will play against the Golden State Warriors again at the Frostbank Center tonight. It's a late tip at 8:30. They will try to avenge Wednesday's loss against Golden State.
They better not get curried again.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Exactly.
then they're going to hit the court again Sunday against Sacramento. That's going to be the Spurs Hispanic Heritage game.
Yes.
Tip-off there is at 3 p.m. And if you get there early, there's going to be a pregame carne asada at the Ultra Club. It's going to feature a live band, mariachi, and also a vendor.
Dude,
So
to do a
good
grito here
stuff.
pretty soon.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I don't have any research to back this up, honestly,
Yes.
but I can imagine their jerseys will be awesome on Sunday. I'm assuming, this is just an assumption, that they would wear a special jersey.
I think they had, well, I think RJ may have had it on GMSA this morning. There was, I think they're giving out a baseball style jersey with the Fiesta colors on it.
Okay, sure. That makes sense.
So yes, look for that. And I'm sorry, I just got distracted by the carne asada.
Yeah, your stomach was growling. I thought I heard something.
It's dinner time.
Oh, now you're making me think of Worst Fest.
I know.
Meat, right? Meat and beer.
Sausage.
Your favorite?
Beer. Good music, fun people, everything. And it's going to feel like spring all weekend long. Low 60s in the morning, mid 80s in the afternoon, even near 90 down south of town. Cotulla, Dilley, Carrizo Springs, Laredo, right near 90 degrees each afternoon this weekend. And Saturday, Sunday, a carbon copy. Some fog and low clouds early, then by noon, total sunshine and warm into the 80s for our afternoon highs. Now, the changes come next week. And before some temperature changes arrive, we have rainfall opportunities. Mainly Thursday-ish. Thursday, give or take a little, okay? And I say Thursday-ish because these patterns are very finicky and temperamental. Experience tells us that. Right now, Big Blue H upper level high, big bubble of warmth right overhead, and it pokes all the way up into Canada. Meanwhile, we're starting to see the beginning of a parade of upper-level disturbances, the first of which is coming on shore in California. Atmospheric river out ahead of it just going to pummel parts of Southern California with a lot of rain and moisture, likely flooding in the desert there. And this first one's going to pass to the north of us. We don't get anything from it. But it's a parade of disturbances. That's what we want. That's what we need around here. The second one is looking more promising by the middle-ish of next week, Wednesday and especially Thursday timeframe. As of now, to set itself up in a more promising position to give us a burst of rain-making energy. Then that passes, and we could have another one right on its heels. So the overall rainfall potential is starting to look more promising because of the type of weather pattern that's setting up. Now, they're going to have a lot of moisture in California, even Arizona, parts of the desert where they need the rain too. They'll be getting it, but around Texas, so far the rainfall potential is starting to look more promising over the next 7 days, and we need it. Now, 54% of Texas considered in drought. And around here, we have the extreme drought, this red category that has expanded a bit more. LaGrange to Hallettsville to Cuero into Gonzales, San Antonio, Hondo, just about to Devine and all the way up to New Braunfels and San Marcos. So we need every drop of rain that we can get. Until then, it's warm and muggy and spring-like. I mean, we're talking mid-80s for highs every afternoon, basically through next Wednesday, and then a little drop in temperatures back down into the 70s, which is still above average for this time of year. Way above average from here all the way up into Canada because of this upper-level ridge, that bubble of warmth that's overhead. So notice mornings back up to 70 by Wednesday, and we're focusing on Thursday for our next chance of rain. Check back for updates. Here's a live look outside with our live cam. And of course, it's dark out. Sunset's right near 5:30 p.m. So it's dark, but clear skies out there. And again, the nights and evenings, you're not going to get cold this weekend. So dress for spring.
All right, welcome back. So feral pigs may soon be coming to a neighborhood near you. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. Invasive pigs have long been a problem here in Texas.
More of a rural problem, but really not anymore. Justin Horn shows us why the pigs and suburbia are now commingling.
This Helotes resident was sent running when he noticed this sounder of sizable pigs across the street. Conflicts with pigs are nothing new to those who live on the outskirts of San Antonio. But as the city sprawls, the run-ins are becoming even more common.
It's been amazing to me over the last year and a half, the more and more phone calls I'm getting from neighborhoods in big cities, medium cities, city parks and recs departments.
Jay Long has researched feral pigs for years. And he knows pig damage when he sees it. Here in Friedrich Park, just inside San Antonio city limits, you'll find plenty of signs of their relentless rooting.
This neighborhood here behind me sits right next to Friedrich Wilderness Park, and we're told that residents here have had issues with pigs rooting up their flower bed and tearing up their lawns.
That's usually what spurs most of my phone calls from neighborhoods. Is we've had 20 houses in the neighborhood get their entire front yard looking exactly like this.
But what exactly can neighborhoods do? Here's where it gets tricky. HOAs and city ordinances make it tough in a suburban setting. Long says trapping is often the best bet, but do know it can be expensive. It should also be noted that feral pigs, despite their large size, don't normally pose a physical threat to humans. It's their destruction to property and disease risk that makes them a real hazard.
Those diseases can be spread to humans, pets, other wildlife, other livestock.
Which is why Long hopes to see less run-ins like this one by creating an allied force against these unwanted visitors. Justin Horn, KSAT 12 News.
Goodness. Okay, thank you, Justin. Well, still ahead on the news at 6, Mary Rominger is here. She's getting us ready for the Spurs and the Warriors later on tonight. All right, bottom of the hour on this Friday. This week on Pickup Lines, a candid conversation with former San Antonio First Lady Erica Prosper Nirenberg. She may soon be thrust into the public spotlight again, as her husband Ron is said to make a big public announcement tomorrow. Her journey is a remarkable one that started in the valley where she worked the crops as a child with her family to help make ends meet. Were you 5 years old when you started out in the field?
Yeah,
like kindergartner age.
I was pre-K even, I think. But and it's funny because I have memories of it being fun. Because when you're a child and you're basically just running up and down with your family, right? You don't realize
your family was there,
work.
true.
Yeah, you don't realize it's work, but I was in charge of bringing the tijeras,
scissors,
up and down to people who needed them, or water when I was little. And then as I got older and I was able to actually hold scissors or a hoe, I was then put to actual work.
Onions, I know you picked, or you grab onions and then you tap them, you knock the soil off?
So the key is you grab 2 at a time, knock them together, put them on one hand, snap, snap, dump them in the can, right? Snap, snap the dirt off, and then snap to get 2, and that's how you would get, because we would be paid by the bucket, and it was 50 cents a bucket. So you had to fill this bucket, and if you did not fill it up, and basically, and then you kept track, you wouldn't get paid.
It was her stepfather who saw Erica's potential, not in the fields, but in the classroom. Despite all of the turmoil at home, she graduated number 5 in her high school class.
That was the first time that I was able to finish a school year completely and understand again the value of education. In this case, it was an alternative education because it was a vocational education.
Correct.
I did learn how to paint a car and weld that summer. Yep. I mean, in a pinch, you never know.
Then it was on to college, first UT and then an Ivy League education at Penn, where she met a young student named Ron.
I was in charge of him because he was a prospective student. I was the one that was assigned to him. So I was doing my duty. I left him with the cab and I was like, all right, my duty's done. That kid needs to go home. And he's the one that turned around and told the cab driver, the cab driver said like, oh, she's cute. Are you gonna marry her? And he was like, I think I will.
And that was it.
But a year later, after he finally convinced me to go out with him, it only took him 1 date though. And the secret was his bathroom was spotless. Guys, women will check out your bathroom. He had the care he showed to ensure that bathroom was clean so I would be comfortable in his bathroom. I remember thinking, not only is this spotless, which is an indicator of someone you do want to potentially marry, but also the fact that he went out of his way to clean it before I came also showed thoughtfulness.
Does he still do that at home?
Yes, he still does the dishes.
To this day.
Does the laundry. He is really hardcore about keeping the house clean.
Well, for the moment, he has more time to do those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to run for county judge.
I don't know. He's going to announce it soon.
Okay. If he does, I mean, some people are not nice sometimes, and you hear some terrible things about your husband.
In 12 years, I've heard terrible things.
You've just developed a resistance to that?
No, of course not. I'm a human being. I'm very protective of him. But I think what happens is, just like anything else, politics has become part show.
Yeah.
Part showmanship. And I think the element of you see it at the national level, right? The element of showmanship that people have to bring to that table to ensure that they put the points across. It varies depending on the public servant. It depends on the run. So what I've learned to do is understand, look, this is basically a job competition, if you think about it. 2 people competing for a job.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot more public, and you got to convince people. So I try not to take it personally.
Wow, you got a lot of stuff out of her. So you know that
20 minutes.
former Mayor Ron Nirenberg cleans his bathroom.
Now we know.
Still to this day.
Exactly, yeah.
So good news and bad news for drivers on the Northwest side. 2 new flyover ramps are finally set to open next week. But before that can happen, you're going to be seeing more road closures. So RJ Marquez is going to help us plan ahead.
That's right. There's going to be a lot of construction activity taking place across many parts of San Antonio. So let's start right here on the far northwest side of town. We have construction taking place starting at 9 o'clock on Friday and basically running throughout the entire weekend to Monday 5 a.m. So what you need to know is that the eastbound lanes of I-10 are generally going to be closed, at least 2 of those lanes throughout the entire weekend as they continue to work on some of those flyovers, which are scheduled to open early Monday morning. So basically this is going to be our biggest delay. I-10 East, again, 2 right lanes lanes as you make your way through the 1604 I-10 expansion and that one interchange right there. But once they open up those flyovers, this is going to be the route. I-10 East right there, La Cantera, that's going to take you to both directions of 1604. You're going to be able to exit at Lock Hill Selma Road and also exit on the opposite side right there at La Cantera Parkway. So it's a mix of good and some bad news for our folks on the northwest side of town. Big news is that they are opening up those brand new flyovers. Okay, this kind of came in late on Friday morning, but KSAT announced that they are closing a part of the 37-410 interchange. This is going to be on the southeast side of town as they do some of the bridge work that is continuing right there again on the southeast side. So starting again, this is going to be late Friday night into early Monday morning, 9 o'clock Friday, 5 a.m. Monday. We're going to have 37 North closed at Loop 410 in southeast Bexar County, and the westbound lanes of Loop 410 will also be closed. Again, this is a brand new closure that was announced early Friday morning. So stay safe on the roads. We're going to have a lot more information on KSAT.com.
All right, there's a reason the town of Poth takes so much pride in their high school football team. The Pirates haven't lost a district game since 2015, going a perfect 7-0 this year. And this is the 10th year in a row Poth has qualified for the playoffs. But even with all of that success, this is what Pirates quarterback Major Luna said about their first-round opponents.
They're big and they're good. You know, when it gets to the playoffs, everybody in the playoffs good. So got to do what we know how to do and go out there and get a victory.
Well, you don't achieve generational success like Poth has without that mindset. Tonight, the Pirates welcome Taft, Texas to town for the opening round of the Class 3A D2 postseason, marking the start of their hopeful journey back to Jerry's world like they accomplished 4 years ago.
It's like nothing you could ever imagine. It's different than any other culture I've ever been in, and it's just a great feeling.
What I think kind of sets these guys apart and our program apart is, man, we take every opponent the same. You know, we don't look past any opponent. You know, we come in, we focus, and our main goal is every week is to go 1-0. You know, and these kids have really bought into that. You know, and understanding that the tradition and the excellence and standards that we have here in Poth is not going to change. These guys do a really good job of rising to the occasions, and you know the old saying, you know, tradition never graduates, and the tradition we've built here in the last 10 years, you know, speaks for itself.
Absolutely. All right, Poth and Taft, Texas kick off at 7 for our first stop on the road trip. Then we go to Pleasanton for Karnes City versus George West, and finally Marion is at Jourdanton. We have 12 games on the schedule to cover tonight, including our game of the week, a playoff bout between Piper and Brennan. Well, the Spurs' 3-game winning streak was snapped on Wednesday against the Warriors. Can San Antonio bounce back in tonight's rematch? We're breaking it down coming up later in sports. We'll be right back.
So here's a look at what's coming up tonight on ABC Primetime at 7 o'clock. So in 20 minutes, you have Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Then at 8 o'clock, 2020. And guess what? Ernie and I are back here at 10 o'clock for the Night Beat.
We will be here.
Yes.
That's right. 2020 followed by the Night Beat and BGC, of course. We've got playoff season going on. Okay, I want to point this out. Tomorrow morning we'll have some areas of fog, just like what we had the past couple of days, but probably a little more prevalent. And then it's going to lift into low clouds until a little closer to the noon hour, I think. I know the visibility is going to improve, but I think we'll have some low clouds through the morning and then a lot of sunshine into the afternoon. We'll talk about the changes for next week in just a bit.
More than 10,000 of Tesla's Powerwall 2 AC systems are being recalled because they can overheat and catch fire. So far, 5 have caused property damage. These were sold through Tesla's website and certified installers nationwide. We found 4 in San Antonio. The company is disconnecting all affected systems and replacing them. More than 80,000 portable power banks and wireless charging stands are being pulled because they could overheat. While no injuries have been reported in the U.S., some burns have been reported internationally. They were sold at Best Buy, Target, on Amazon, and through the TikTok app. Contact the company to get your money back. Parents, watch out for this one. More than 117,000 Zippy toys are being recalled by Moby Games because they can pose a choking risk if swallowed. One child vomited after putting the toy in their mouth, needing medical care. The company says they are okay. These were sold online through Amazon and Target. To get your money back, contact the company. To learn more about these and other recalls, head to our website, KSAT.com. Avery Mura, KSAT 12 News.
All right, so this evening, San Antonio's science and technology community is honoring the life and legacy of David Monroe, a successful inventor whose work impacted technology overall.
Yeah, so Monroe died in a tragic accident at Techport almost 2 months ago. But since then, his friends and colleagues have been working together with his family to honor him and show just what he meant to them and to the world.
Shada Pope is joining us from the Boeing Center at Techport, where that ceremony is underway. Pashada.
That's right. Ernie and Stephania, family and friends have been gathering here at the Boeing Center to celebrate and pay tribute to David Monroe. The celebration has been filled with music, with videos, and lots of memories in a place that nurtures something that David loves so much, and that was technology. Now, back in September, Monroe was accidentally killed when he was crushed by a jet engine that he was helping to move. Now, his loss made his work here at Techport and the San Antonio Museum of Science and Technology even more important. Now, many of his colleagues affectionately call the museum the house that David built. It opened in 2017 and was filled with more than 27,000 artifacts. Now, some of those were what Monroe had a hand in or those that he built himself, including the prototype of the camera phone. Monroe held the patent for the first use of the camera phone. Now, this is just one example of how he impacted technology on a global scale. His other impact was SAMSAT, the museum itself. It was known that Monroe wanted to create a place where San Antonio children and families could embrace technology.
We thank David for his vision and his heart. His spirit lives on in every exhibit, every workshop, and every young mind that walks through our doors and discovers the wonders of science and technology.
Now, it's a sentiment that is being shared out here this evening. Now, today's celebration started this afternoon and is still going on. Monroe's love for technology will continue at SAMSAT. The city of San Antonio is encouraged to visit and support his vision. Live at Boeing Center, Pashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
A beautiful ceremony here going on right now. Indeed. But now we're going to take things outside. 78 degrees out there, and it is Friday, my friends. And I know that our good friend Adam Caskey is here to get you ready.
Or?
Alan Klasky.
Is it Alan Klasky today?
It's Friday.
It's
so
my alter ego. Alan's the one you want to hang with.
Caskey's at Worst Fest right now, I think.
Well, no, that's Alan Klasky comes out at Worst Fest.
Oh.
That's who you want to hang out with. It's a long story. This goes back.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, when I lived and worked in Washington, D.C. Anyway, Alan Klasky, he's fun. All right, Adam Caskey's the one that covers like severe weather and stuff, you know.
Okay.
That's some difference here. Okay, so rain chances next week starting to look more promising. I'm at 40% for next Thursday-ish. That could change, timeline could change. And honestly, with this type of pattern, if I had more confidence in it, I'd have it up to 60% already, but we're not going to make that jump until for another couple of days probably, because these patterns are notoriously temperamental and finicky beyond a few days out. So we need a little more time to gain confidence in what the computer guidance is suggesting, and it's been consistently doing so now for a bit. But we have the first of several disturbances right now coming into California. Big atmospheric river out ahead of it. These are basically rivers of moisture up in the atmosphere, just saturated air that streams on shore, hits the mountains, and generates showers, thunderstorms, higher elevation snow, and will likely lead to some areas of flash flooding in the desert of Southern California, and even the Four Corners getting some action. That's the first disturbance. That's passing to the north. I have the blue on here indicating where there's going to be snow. So that's why it looks a little different than the typical map here. The second one holds more promise for us in that Thursday-ish time frame. And then we could have another one right on its heels. Bottom line, California is looking at a lot of rain and higher elevation snow in the days to come. Around here in Texas, overall, we're gaining confidence and it's looking promising. by next Thursday, and then even thereafter, we could have some more opportunities for some rain. Temperature-wise, it's going to feel like spring. I mean, we're not far from record territory, especially at 86 Monday and Tuesday of next week. Then we drop into the 70s by next Friday on through the following weekend. So you look at the temperatures across the nation, big heat dome, the bubble of warm air with the upper level quote unquote heat high, making temperatures well above average, 15 to 20 degrees above average, all the way up to the Canadian border. You get up into Canada, get up Arctic Circle area, temperatures there in the single digits. So far, no indication of that headed toward our neck of the woods anytime soon. 80s and warm and spring-like through the weekend.
At Spurs shoot-around this morning, there was studying and more studying film. That's the luxury you get when you play the same team back-to-back, kind of like a playoff series. Now tonight, the Spurs will rematch against the Golden State Warriors, eager to bounce back after being dealt their first loss at home on Wednesday, 125-120, behind a 46-point effort from Steph Curry. Not even triple-doubles from Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle could tame the Warriors. Now, speaking of Castle, he's top 10 in the NBA in assists, and he's been an anchor alongside Wemby. Just listen to what Devin Vassell said about the reigning Rookie of the Year at shoot-around this morning.
It's been great to see that he's playing confident. He's getting everybody involved. Defensively, he's being a menace. I've got to talk to him once we leave about fouling. I got to get him out of that foul trouble. He got to stay out of foul trouble. But other than that, I mean, there's really no flaws. He's been playing great. Just excited to see. I mean, it's only the second year, and he's going this is so early in the second year. So excited to see where he's going to be.
Castle's so impressive. Tonight, tip-off is at 8:30. It's another NBA Cup group play game. The Spurs are 1-0 in Cup play thus far.
Marshawn loved the words "one love," so we talked a lot about love. My heart is heavy. Our team's heart is heavy. We don't move on, but we do move forward.
That's the Cowboys' mentality entering Week 11 following the tragic loss of Marshawn Kneeland during their bye week. Coming up on KSAT Sports Now, we'll hear from the players. Also, the Texans are chasing a playoff spot. How Davis Mills feels about starting again. Also, some Longhorns schedule debate. Aggies reflecting on their successful season, one of the best in program history. And of course, it's BGC Friday night. That all begins on KSAT Plus and KSAT.com at 7. We'll see you there.